7 steps to energy and focus. You'll feel a surge of power in just 10 minutes. Meet Alex. Alex was a ghost, haunted by deadlines and flickering screens. His days were a blur of lukewarm coffee and the constant nagging feeling that he was falling behind. He lived on the edge of burnout, a tightrope walker with no safety net. His dream, to launch his own graphic design agency. But dreams need energy, and Alex was running on empty. Every evening, he'd stare at his personal projects, his passion projects, and feel nothing but a crushing wave of exhaustion. The spark was gone. The colors on his screen seemed to mock him, vibrant and alive, while he felt dull and gray. He knew something had to change, or his dream would die on the vine, another casualty of a life lived at half speed. One rainy Tuesday, scrolling mindlessly through an old online forum, a forgotten corner of the internet, Alex stumbled upon a post. It was dated over a decade ago. The title was simple: The 10-Minute Reset. The author, a user named Kronos, described a 7-step routine, a personal ritual he claimed could reboot your mind and body faster than a shot of espresso. It sounded like snake oil, another productivity hack destined to fail. But Alex was desperate. He was so tired of being tired. Skepticism warred with a tiny flicker of hope. What did he have to lose? 10 minutes? He wasted more time than that, just staring into space. That night, instead of collapsing onto the couch, he decided to try it. He printed the 7 steps, the ink still warm on the paper, and took a deep breath. Step 1. Disconnect. Alex powered down his phone, his laptop, even his smartwatch. The sudden silence was deafening, a void where notifications used to scream for his attention. He felt a pang of anxiety, a digital phantom limb. Step 2. Hydrate. Not with coffee, but with a simple glass of cold water. He drank it slowly, deliberately, feeling the coolness spread through him. It was surprisingly grounding. Step 3. Stretch. Not a full workout, just gentle movements. Reaching for the ceiling, touching his toes, rolling his neck. He could feel the knots in his shoulders begin to loosen, tiny prisoners being set free. Step 4. Breathe. Kronos' instructions were specific. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Alex felt foolish at first, his breath catching in his chest. But after a few cycles, a strange calm began to settle over him. The frantic hamster wheel in his mind started to slow down. Step 5. Focus on a single object. Alex's eyes landed on a small, smooth stone he'd picked up on a beach years ago. He studied its gray surface, the tiny white lines crisscrossing it like ancient maps. He traced them with his eyes, losing himself in its simple, solid reality. For the first time in what felt like forever, his mind was quiet. It wasn't thinking about emails or deadlines. It was just here. Step 6. Write down one single achievable task. Not finish the project or build the agency. The instruction was to make it small. Alex wrote on a sticky note. Sketch one logo concept. It felt possible. It wasn't a mountain to climb, just a single step to take. And then, step 7. The final, most cryptic step. Express gratitude to yourself. Kronos wrote, "Thank the person who showed up for these 10 minutes." Alex felt a lump form in his throat. It was such a simple idea, but it hit him with the force of a revelation. He'd been berating himself for months, punishing himself for not being productive enough, for not being energetic enough. He had never once stopped to thank himself for just trying. He whispered it into the quiet room, "Thank you." And in that moment, something shifted. The 10 minutes were up. He opened his eyes, and the world looked different. The colors in his apartment seemed brighter. The air felt cleaner. He didn't feel hyper or buzzed like he did after 3 cups of coffee. Instead, he felt centered. He felt clear. He felt a quiet, steady current of energy flowing within him. It wasn't a tidal wave. It was a deep, powerful river. He walked over to his desk, picked up his stylus, and began to sketch. The lines flowed from his hand, effortless and sure. An hour later, he looked up, surrounded by not one, but 3 new logo concepts, each one better than the last. Alex started doing the 10-minute reset every day. It became his anchor in the storm of modern life. Some days, it was a struggle to disconnect. Some days, his mind refused to quiet down. But he always showed up for those 10 minutes. He guarded them fiercely. His work at the agency improved dramatically. He was sharper, more creative, more focused. His boss noticed, his colleagues noticed. But more importantly, Alex noticed. The ghost in the machine was gone. In its place was an architect, a builder. Slowly, brick by brick, he started building his own agency in the evenings. The exhaustion was replaced by excitement. The dread was replaced by determination. He wasn't just dreaming anymore. He was doing. The 7 steps didn't give him more hours in the day. They gave him more life in his hours. Years passed. Alex's agency became a resounding success, known for its innovative and soulful designs. He was a leader in his field, a mentor to young designers. He often told them, "Your greatest tool isn't your software. It's your focus. Protect it." One evening, while sorting through old files, he found that faded printed page with the 7 steps. He smiled. On a whim, he logged back into that old, dusty forum. He searched for the user Kronos, wanting to send a message of thanks across the digital sea. He found the profile, but it had been inactive for years. However, pinned to the top of the profile was one final post. It was a memorial, written by the user's son. "My father," it read, "spent his last years battling a degenerative neurological disease. His energy and focus were the first things it took from him. He created this 10-minute reset not as a productivity hack, but as his way of fighting back. It was his way of reclaiming a small piece of himself each day, a 10-minute island of clarity in a fog of confusion. He wanted to share it, hoping it could help someone else feel whole again, even for just a little while." Alex sat back, the screen blurring through his tears. It was never about productivity. It wasn't about getting more done. It was about connection. It was about finding your center in a world that constantly tries to pull you apart. It was a lifeline thrown into the void by a man who was losing himself. A message in a bottle that had washed up on Alex's shore exactly when he needed it most. The 7 steps weren't just a routine. They were a legacy of resilience, a quiet testament to the power of showing up for yourself for 10 minutes at a time. The true surge of power wasn't just energy. It was the profound, humbling realization that even in our darkest moments, we have the strength to create our own light. Thank you for watching. If you found this story meaningful, please consider subscribing for more content that explores the deeper currents of our lives.